caricatures have always been a powerful way to convey complex social and political messages, using exaggeration and short humor to spark both reflection and conversation. In this video, we explore how caricatures can highlight some of the most ordinary issues directly affecting the Philippines, particularly the rising vape addiction and its disturbing connection to increasing fine play such as weight. Through our artwork, we aim to show light in the devastating effects of addiction, not just the individuals but of the community as a whole.
The social impact of drug addiction. Drug addiction does not only affect the individual but also the entire community. Political cartoons often depict the widespread consequences of substance abuse, such as broken families, increased crime rates, and a struggling economy. Some illustrations show a domino effect, one drug user leading to multiple social problems, symbolizing how addiction has a ripple effect on society. Others represent drugs, a monster devouring Filipino virus that portraying addiction as a national crisis that threatens the country's future. This powerful image encouraged the people to reflect on drug abuse affect their communities and inspired them to take action.
One of the most controversial issues in the Philippine society is the government approach to solving drug problem. Under former President Rodrigo Duterte, the war on drugs was flourished, resulting in thousands of deaths due to extrajudicial killings. Political cartoons often criticize how this campaign targeted small fund users and pushers, while big-paying drug lords and corrupt officials remain unattached. Some cartoons depict enforcement as violence executioners, highlighting human rights abuses and questioning the fairness of the drug.
That I am committed to stop drugs before I go out. Which means to say, Father, Monsignor, Bishop, which means to say, marami pampatayan to. Kasi lumalaban talaga yan.
Corruption and the drug trade. Many political caricatures reveal the deep connection between drugs and corruption in the Philippines. Some cartoons illustrate politicians and law enforcers as the puppets controlled by drug syndicates, implying that the high-ranking officials benefit from the illegal drug trade. These artworks expose the hypocrisy of leaders who claim to be fighting drug while secretly protecting or engaging in illicit activities. By visually representing these realities, political cartoons demand greater transparency, accountability, and genuine efforts to eradicate drugs from the country.
Drug addiction is a long-standing problem in the Philippines, affecting individuals from different social backgrounds. Political cartoons often portray drug addicts as hopeless and trapped in a cycle of abuse, symbolizing how addiction destroys people's lives, families, and communities. Some caricatures depict drug users as cynical figures, lost souls, or trained prisoners to illustrate their dependency and difficulty of escaping addiction. These visual representations aim to educate the public about the dangers of substance abuse, showing that drug addiction is not just a personal issue but a societal crisis that requires urgent attention.
The call for rehabilitation and support. While some political cartoons focus on the negative impact of drug addiction, others advocate for rehabilitation and recovery. These artworks promote the idea that drug dependents should be treated as patients in need for help rather than criminals deserving for punishment. Some cartoons depict rehabilitation centers as paths for a second chance, showing how proper support can help individuals recover from addiction and reintegrate into society. These images serves as a call for a more human and effective approach to solving the drug problem, one that includes medical treatment, counseling, and social reintegration programs.
I would stop drugs and criminality in 3 to 6 months.
But just give me a little extension, maybe of another 6 months.
Hindi lang po isa o dalawa, kundi 13 umano ang nanghalay sa 15 anyos na babae nitong December 9 sa Grand Fiesta sa Oslob, Cebu. Namatay po kalaunan ang biktima. Saksi, si Luan May Rondina ng GMA Regional TV.
Malagim na krimen ang naganap sa bahay na ito. Ayon sa PNP, nilapitan umano ng mga sospek ang 15 anyos na biktima habang nakaupo siya sa Cuartel Heritage Park sa Oslob, Cebu. Inalok ng alak ang biktima at nang malasing, dinala siya sa liblib na lugar sa kapinagsamantalahan umano ng 13 lalaki.
Unya, lain ko nuglami. Ano siya nga, dili ako mainom kay muli ko na maskwela pa ko kaugma. Ano siya nga, why also maskwela na to mga laki ko no.
Pila ka bugdo? Balabana
Yang una ko yang kuan ko no. Primero to kuan tulo niya, human ko ninawag mo 3 sigod.
3 sigod.
Ana kanina nawag nga. Dali na mo kay nana sa biktima hon tani. Nana to mga laki. So, mao to pagkatatada na natulog na hapla ko na siya.
December 12, sinamahan siya ng kanyang ina para i-report ang krimen sa mga pulis. Kinabukasan, binawian ng buhay ang dalagita.
Titingnan po natin yan dahil ang paalam po kasi ng ating biktima sa kanyang nanay ay siya lamang po ay aalis at kasama yung kanyang boyfriend to attend nga po yung fiesta. So malaki po ang kailangan i-explain po ng kanyang nobyo bakit nangyari po dito sa biktima.
Sa backtracking ng CCTV, lumabas na dayo mula sa Dalaget ang mga sospek. 4 sa kanila ang arestado. Edad 18 anyos hanggang 20 anyos ang mga sospek. 2 sa kanila ang magkapatid habang kabarkada nila ang 2 pa.
Base na rin po ito sa naging backtracking ng mga CCTV at mga interviews doon sa mga witnesses na di umano itong apat na nasa custody na po ng CIDG at iba pa po ang responsable sa nangyari di umanong panggagahasa dito nga po sa ating minor na biktima.
We have yet to check, sir, kung na ay criminal records, but we will work on that, sir.
Inihahanda na ng pulisya ang kasong statutory rape laban sa mga sospek.
Natapos na rin po ma'am yung autopsy, although iniintay po natin yung histopathology result po kung to determine po yung cause of death po ng bata.
Para sa GMA Integrated News, ako si Luan Merondina ng GMA Regional TV, ang inyong saksi.
Odd-related rape cases have been rising in the Philippines, with many perpetrators using illegal substances to overpower their victims. Political cartoons often depict drugs as a weapon used by rapists, showing how substances like shabu and alcohol remove a person's sense of culture and morality. Some illustrations portray drug-fueled rape as a dark, shadowy figure looming over vulnerable women, symbolizing the fear and danger that victims experience. These caricatures aim to raise awareness about the link between substances abuse and sexual violence, urging societies to recognize the growing threat.
The role of drug syndicates in sexual exploitation, caricatures also expose the connection between drug syndicates and human trafficking. Many women and children are forced into prostitution or sexual slavery in exchange for drugs, a reality that some political cartoons depict through heart-wrenching images of innocent victims being manipulated by power criminals. Some illustrations show drugs lords as a puppets, masters controlling young victims, symbolizing how deeply embedded this issue in society. By bringing attention to this dark realities, political cartoons push for stricter laws and harsher punishments against those who exploit vulnerable individuals.
The need for stronger laws and law enforcement. Many political cartoons criticize the weak enforcement of laws against drug-related rape cases. Some caricature depict law enforcers as asleep on their job,
or turning a blind eye to crime, illustrating the failure of authorities to protect victims. Others show police officers accepting bribes, highlighting how corruption allows rapists to escape justice. This image for stronger policies, better implementation of laws, and increased protection for victims. By shedding light on these issues, political cartoons encourage citizens to demand accountability from the government.
Public awareness and social responsibility. Political cartoons emphasize that solving drug-related rape crimes is not just the responsibility of the government, but of society as a whole. Some caricatures show people covering their eyes and ears, symbolizing how many Filipinos choose to ignore these problems instead of taking action. Others illustrate the power of education, depicting awareness campaigns and self-defense programs as shields against sexual violence. This artwork reminds the public that change starts with awareness and collective action. If more people speak up and demand justice, real progress can be achieved. Lastly, for the conclusion, the power of political cartoons in raising awareness. Political cartoons or caricatures are not just humorous illustrations. They are powerful reflection of reality. They serve as mirrors that expose the harsh truths about drug addiction and rape crimes linked to substance abuse in the Philippines. By using satire, symbolism, and exaggeration, these artworks challenge authorities, educate the public, and inspire change. While these problems are complex, awareness is the first step toward meaningful solutions. Through political cartoons, we are reminded that the fight against drug and sexual violence is a fight for justice, equality, and safer society for all.